gentlemen, welcome once again to the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. As always, I am your host, Matt Brandon, and I am jacked up on this Saturday short today, guys, because I'm going to be very, very honest with y'all. SmackDown was fucking awesome. All right. I absolutely love SmackDown. It was good. The show was fantastic. And you know what? Just another good show this week. And it was crazy. You think back on the week early on, I said, this is kind of a slow week as far as like what we have to expect moving forward. Well, I also said that sometimes those slow weeks can predict or can turn into some very, very quality shows. And that's what we've got all week, guys, from Raw to NXT. Dynamite was fantastic. TNA was fantastic. And last night, SmackDown did not disappoint, okay? Another great grade on another show this week, So in all honesty, I think we're really running into something that's special here right now, running into WrestleMania season. And I thought they did a great job at connecting some stories once again on SmackDown. But like I said, it was really good. It was a fantastic show, had a little bit of everything. And let's get into it. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of another fantastic Friday night. I will say, before I start, that last week I said that the 3 hours seemed a little long. Not so much this week. I thought the 3 hours almost was short. Now, that could be because the main event seemed a little rushed, although I'm not downgrading that main event at all. But overall, I thought the show was freaking great. The pacing was great, and they couldn't have started it any better. Yesterday, I mentioned the fact that I think this run of Jay's starts back to when he lays the bloodline over a year and a half ago. But in reality, like, this huge heater that Jay Uso is on right now, to me, starts back at the at Saturday night's main event. He loses to Gunther. We're thinking that maybe he's done. Jay is out. He cuts the promo of the year at Monday Night Raw in Atlanta. He comes out. He wins the Royal Rumble that next Saturday. And then what do you know? He comes back out on Raw, gives the next promo of the year. The floor is completely his. And you know what? He did the exact same thing last night with his opening promo for SmackDown. Now, I will say, not quite as good as what it was Monday night. I won't give it promo of the year just yet. But, it had it, man. It had that raw emotion. It really did. Jay, the way he's presenting himself right now as just freaking all-American, smiling baby face, and it's working. It's working 100%. And to be honest with you, it's going to continue to grow. We're going to see more and more of this moving forward to WrestleMania season. Sometimes I get a little bored of the ultra babyface push. I'm okay with this one. This one works. Matter of fact, keep on pouring the sprinkles on it as far as I'm concerned. Not enough sprinkles. So we'll see. The other thing I want to say is, I really thought that they did a good job at making us think which direction Jay is going to go as far as how he's going to choose who he's taking on at WrestleMania. I thought going into SmackDown, I still thought all signs are pointing to Gunther, and I still do. But I will say they kind of gave some intrigue on a possibility of Cody. And like I said, it made us think a little bit. And I really thought there's moments there where the facial expressions, especially on Cody, like you could see, this isn't so good. I loved the fact that Cody pretty much, he cut a heel promo, all right? And there were some boos, and we don't hear that very often. And I'm going to tell you, they weren't Cena sucks boos, all right? There were some people that basically said, hey, you're against our guy now, and nah, it ain't gonna happen. So yeah, I really like that. I really thought that they made us think, and then we get the fun shit. All right, we heard the music. We knew that this was gonna happen. Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, they make their way down. Thank you very much, by the way, for giving us that main event. I mean, I know that main event left a lot left on the table, but it gave us that taste. And it gave us the taste of Jacob versus Cody. It gave us the taste of Jay versus Cody. I mean, not Jay versus Cody. And it gave us the fact of Jacob versus Jay when he called him Big Cousin. There ain't no way in hell he's bringing that title back to the family, right? So, like, that held all the intrigue. And also, on top of that, guys, Tama Tonga is over. All right, he is over right now. The crowd is yeah. And I like right now, Yeah, Jay is up. Cody might be falling a little bit. He's still up there though. But where's Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga gonna crawl to? I mean, there's a lot of time to develop these characters, and we know Tama is a great heel with his work that he's done, Bullet Club and things of that sort. And Jacob can play whatever role he needs to play. The problem is, it's going to be hard to keep progressing Jacob as a heel because he is so beloved right now. And you're not going to be able to turn people off of that character. And I am the biggest one right now. I am totally on the Jacob Fatu bandwagon. It ain't a damn bandwagon. I'm riding in the damn 18 wheeler with him. That's what it is. All right. One thing though that I want to mention about Jay, getting back to Jay real fast, is that you're starting to hear a little bit of some comparisons to other former tag team wrestlers that became great singles wrestlers, right? I heard on Busted Open, much credit to Busted Open, second best wrestling podcast out there. Our one of my favorites, Uncle Bully, Bubba Ray Dudley. He gave the comparison earlier this week of Jay and Jeff Hardy. And it really got me thinking because I thought, man, as far as like a popularity level, yeah, their styles are a little different. But then again, their styles are a little bit the same too, with some power moves, a lot of high flying, very, very good looking high flying moves. Not always the fanciest, not always the hardest to do, but I kind of saw that comparison as it worked for me. It really did. I can see a Jeff Hardy and a Jey Uso. Jeff Hardy climbed the ladder and took the belt eventually, became one of the hottest single stars in the whole entire world. Jay is there. And guys, I think they're going to put that belt on him. I really do. Now, again, I'm not making any predictions yet. This can all change as we move forward. But in all honesty, I could totally see that happening. Okay. But my question to you is, who else? Who else can Jay remind you of as that tag team specialist that crawls out of the tag team levels and becomes a singles superstar? We hear Jeff Hardy, right? Booker T would be a guy to think about, although I think Booker T's a little different of a path to being a superstar on his own. I think of Bret Hart. Bret Hart, Hart Foundation. You can even go with the British Bulldogs with Davey Boy Smith. You could go on and on. And again, I know I'm missing people here. I'm just thinking about this. I didn't put notes on this one. But I wonder who else. And I know I'm missing people. But, at some point in time, we're going to get more of these comparisons, especially if he wins the strap. So think about that. Shoot me a message. Put it on the Facebook machine. Let me know. Who do you think? Who does Jay remind you of when it comes to the tag team specialist developing into the superstar? Honestly, I think I'll agree with Uncle Bully. I think the Jeff Hardy comparison is the most accurate right now, especially when you look at like how they wrestle and the appeal of the fans and all of that. I totally see the comparison. So yeah, that works for me. And honestly, I thought that opening segment it totally hit the nail on the head. The opening segment for me was an A. Like I gave that a total A. It was hard to go down on that as far as a grade, just because of the fact that it had a little bit of everything. It had intrigue. It had the fact that we're going to get violence. Like it was really, really good. So let's move into the rest of the card, guys. And again, it's a Saturday short. I'm not going to try to go too long today, but we're going to get some stuff in. All right. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll do our Sunday weekend review. So stay tuned for that. But we had a women's match between Bianca and Piper as far as an elimination chamber advancement qualifying match. It was good. It was good. And honestly, I figured that Bianca was going to go over there. I thought though that Piper looked really, guys, Piper Nevin is very underrated. She really is very underrated, and she does a really good job at making people smaller than her look strong. And Bianca doesn't need a whole lot of help. It took her the 3 times to get the finisher in. That's actually happened multiple times when she's taken on Piper, which I like that. I'm totally fine with that. It makes sense. Why did it take 3 one time and then the next time you're going to get her on your first one? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I liked that play out, although I've heard bad reviews of it. What else did we have going on in this match? Like I said, Piper is underrated. Figured Bianca would get the win, but the other thing I'm getting out of that is, guys, I think we're going to get ready to get a very big Bianca Belair push. Matter of fact, I've been reading the rumors in the dirt sheets about Bianca and being a main event or being in a championship match at WrestleMania. I see that right now. I did. And I really didn't really buy into it a whole lot going into this week. But now I keep reading things. You keep hearing the commentary. I really think that they're going to get ready to push Bianca again. And, in all honesty, as far as the women's division, no one really deserves it more. No one is hotter with the kids right now in the women's division than Bianca, and probably will stay that way. And for that, like, I get it. So the question is if that push does happen, and I could be way wrong on this, I'm just a mark, but at the end of the day, if that push does happen, it'll be interesting to see which direction it goes. I guess it's all going to come down to Charlotte, really, who Charlotte picks. Which, by the way, we'll get to that in a little bit. We had another tag match. This time, it was a beautiful, beautiful situation. DIY was cutting the best promo they've ever cut, by the way. That might have been the most personality I've seen out of Tommaso Ciampa in, I don't know, 3 years. And I always liked Johnny Gargano on the mic. Now that he's playing this arrogant heel, it's really working for me. But guys, I make no bones about it. I love Pretty Deadly. I think they're great in the ring. Their comedic timing is really good. Their tag team timing is really good. So we have that little squabble we've had with them and DIY for the last few weeks. They owe Pretty Deadly because they've helped them on numerous occasions. And then enter Nick Aldis, and he says, "Yeah, the match is happening." I love the reaction of Gargano and Ciampa, like, "We're in street clothes," and they were shocked, and there's no dang way. Yet at the same time, Tommaso Ciampa claims to be the baddest man that's ever walked the earth. So I like that. I like the idea of I'm the strongest, toughest guy ever, and then just like that, I'm a chicken shit heel, and I really enjoyed that. Matter of fact, the freaking match was really good. The match was awesome. Pretty Deadly comes out with the win. They are going to get a freaking title match. And you know what? I can't wait. I think it's good. I think it's good for wrestling. I think it's good for tag team wrestling, especially. And speaking of that, guys, great promo by the Street Profit, a darker side of the Street Profits, which I think that's needed. Not thinking it's really a heel turn. I think it's just more of an aggression turn. But I thought that kind of process of the Street Profits moving forward was really good. Now we'll see what happens in the ring. I've always said that the Montez Ford is a superstar in waiting. So I did hear something in that promo that bothered me when he said, "We're always going to stick together." Now, that could be a heartbreaker for me personally because I think Montez Ford is, like I said, a single superstar waiting to happen, i.e. Jey Uso, but not yet on that level, by the way. But we hear him say, "We're always going to be together." So, is my heart broke, or are we setting up a Street Profit split? And then I get my everything I wanted. Montez Ford becomes a single star, and D'Angelo Dawkins goes to TNA. No, I shouldn't have said that. I should have. Actually, D'Angelo looked good with the run in, and as a heel, he kind of his facials are different. So yeah, I'm good with it. My biggest thing with this Street Profits: get rid of the damn cups, lose that part, and be aggressive like you were last night when you ask if someone wants to smoke. All right, and that's the way it is. So what else did we have? Also had a couple things other with the tag team. Motor City Machine Guns give a great backstage interview, interrupted by Los Garza. And what you're getting out of that, guys, is more tag team drama. You have DIY. They're going against Pretty Deadly. We know we have the Street Profits that's in there. We know we have Los Garza, who look really good and really talented right now. And then on top of that, you have Motor City Machine Guns, who just lost the belt recently and just competed at the Royal Rumble in a 2 out of 3 falls match. So you're really looking at some quality tag match stuff and some good possibilities for storylines. Let's see how the stories progress there. I have a good feeling about that. I really do. But at the same time, I am a tag team guy, and excuse me, I think that tag teams and tag team stories can be so good if we just let them develop. So we had the triple threat, guys. Who's going to get into the Elimination Chamber? My God, this is a freaking main event on any card in the whole world. We had Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Big Jim, and it was amazing. I mean, it absolutely was amazing. I look at my notes here. I said, so good, so good, so good. And I am sorry, Big Jim looked better than anybody in that freaking match. Although he didn't get to do the pop-up Samoan drop, and I actually was hoping he would hit that on LA Knight. That would have been a really good situation. But Big Jim looked great, and I am a Big Jim shill. I know I am. You're never going to hear me say a negative word. I think that he is the better of the Usos. Facials, in ring, timing, his promos. However, he's not quite there yet. We need to get that U.S. strap on Big Jim. Give me Big Jim right now versus Shinsuke. That's what we need. Give me that for Elimination Chamber. Because obviously we know Big Jim doesn't advance here. LA Knight looked okay as far as in ring. It was not, even a little clunky, but not bad. And then there's Drew. Guys, this is the best character work Drew McIntyre's ever done. He is playing kayfabe to the ultimate. He's staying in character no matter where he's at. Social media, interviews. He is completely owning this character, and it is so fun. And the funnest part about this match to me wasn't the in-ring stuff. It was the promo versus promo versus promo. Drew starts it. Jay comes in, interrupts Drew, calls him out, says his zingers, looks great on the mic, and then you have LA Knight coming in, and he drops the biggest burn of the night. I had talked about the issues that Drew apparently had in storming out at Rumble, all because they said LA Knight had to get his spots in, and then LA Knight finishes his promo by acting like he's ready to get in the ring, and they said, oh, wait a second. I need to finish my spots. And then he gives us the LA Knight. Yeah. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was a zinger. Now, what that tells me is this is probably a work. If it's not a work, what it tells me is LA Knight and Drew McIntyre are absolutely professionals and know that they can actually make money off of the heat that they're getting with each other. And guys, that's smart wrestling. And everybody knows that you make the most money in this game. At least that's what they say, off of real hatred. That's where this whole thing can get going and catch fire. And I thought we saw some of that. I really did. The match, I figured it was going to be a Drew finish, but the finish, the way it broke down, was so awesome with LA Knight going for the BFT on Jimmy. Then the Claymore comes in, which then causes LA Knight to give the BFT to Big Jim. And then Drew covers LA Knight for the 1-2-3. Great finish. That's a great finish where everybody looks strong. You would think that maybe Big Jim didn't look quite as strong, but I thought because of the progression of the match, he did. I thought he looked solid throughout. So overall, like, that match to me was a wonderful match. I wouldn't give it a 5-star match because obviously the wrestling inside is it's different. You know, you're dealing with a couple monsters, and LA Knight, guys, he sometimes has some of these issues as far as his hop top rope and things like that. But last night he didn't have that. He wasn't clunky at all, and I think that's a credit to Big Jim and Drew. So overall, though, that match was fantastic. Then we had the KO promo. God, that was awesome. If you didn't like that KO promo, give me more KO in a car. Now, what I want to say is, on Raw on Monday, I need KO in the car being interviewed by Michael Cole again. All right. And I need some aggression towards Michael Cole. And it came out today that Sammy is out indefinitely. So maybe a Michael Cole interview inside KO's car. KO gets aggressive towards Michael Cole. And then we get the Sammy save because Sammy's the ultimate good guy again. Yeah, I mean, great stuff. Great way to progress a story when both sides aren't even present. You know what I mean? Like, I really thought that was well done. Not as much as the next segment when we had Carmelo Hayes taking on Akira Tozawa. It worked because of the idea that Carmelo took away Tozawa's chance at Royal Rumble, and then ISHO Speed takes his spot and gets killed. Like, I get that, but in reality, there was no intrigue to that match to me. I knew that Mello was going to go over, but it actually was a really good match. Even when Tozawa looked strong, which wasn't a lot, but when he did, Mello did a really good job at putting him over, I thought. One thing that I want to call attention to in that match, if you notice things in professional wrestling, on a kick out, Mello actually landed on top of the referee. I forget her name. That's one of the ones I always forget, which neither here nor there, but landed on her, hit her with his hand in the head, and then like landed on her hair. And you could immediately see Carmelo say, "I'm sorry, are you okay?" And like, I thought the communication that you see, and I know that that stuff's not supposed to be caught on camera, but you know what? For marks like me to see stuff like that in the ring, it's awesome because I got this dick Carmelo Hayes, and who I always want to say Carmelo Anthony. Like I got him, such a prick, and then all of a sudden you see a little bit of realness because you know what's going on inside that ring. And I don't know, I just really like that. And the match, meh, it was better than I thought it would be. The one thing I ask is let's get a little bit of direction with Carmelo. Guys, HBK, Shawn Michaels has said that Carmelo Hayes is literally the future. He is so big on Carmelo Hayes. I think he reminds him a lot of himself because of the size, a little undersized, super athletic. But right now, I just don't see a direction. I see him just being a dick to everybody. So I don't know. Maybe we need to pick a program here and run with it. And it's not Andrade. Okay, it's got to be something of some substance. Let's give him something good, or maybe let's let him get back to NXT and get back some of that heat that he had when he first got drafted onto SmackDown. So, not bad overall. Alexa Bliss versus Candice LeRae. All right, that was also a elimination chamber qualifier. Alexa went over. You knew that was going to happen. The one thing I was going to say here, though, um, Alexa did show some ring rust here, and Wade Barrett kept mentioning it throughout the match in his play-by-play. And I like the fact how Wade said ring rust is real and compared it to himself and times that he had out. Guys, that really, really helps as far as advancing the story of the wrestler that maybe at that time didn't look as great as what we expected to. The Royal Rumble can hide some flaws, right? Because you have so many people and so many things happening. One-on-one match, you can get exposed. Now, Alexa didn't get exposed. She's phenomenal. She just had a little ring rust, and it was noticeable. And I thought the announcers did, the play-by-play team did a great job at covering up for that. But I also want to say that the crowd was absolutely flat during that. The Memphis crowd was great the whole night. I thought the crowd was hot, except for the Alexa Candice match. It's like they were sitting on their hands, and I thought it kind of led to the match coming across a little worse than what it maybe actually was. I hate a flat crowd. What else did we have? The Charlotte promo was fantastic. What direction is she going to go? I don't know. I'm going to talk a little bit more on the weekend review about that tomorrow, so we'll get to it. But what I want to say here is Tiffy really sparred well there. She did not back down from Charlotte, and I'm glad we saw the ultra confident, the ultra almost aggressive tone of Tiffany Stratton on that one, because basically she said, I'm tired of being compared to you. I'm tired of being the next Charlotte Flair. I'm the first and only Tiffany Stratton. That hit home. That hit home. But what it also did in that whole thing was it kind of led me to the idea that Charlotte's probably choosing Tiffany. Again, I hope I'm wrong here because I want Charlotte Rhea, but at the same time, it makes a little bit of sense here. That brings us to the main event. The only argument I have with the main event is that it needed a little bit more time. Cody didn't have to take 17 minutes. Although I love singing the song, so I mean, what are you gonna do? And it's all there. When you got Cody and Jay coming down, both of them having separate entrances, it's gonna take a day and a half. But that maybe we need to back off the interest a little more and give me a little more in ring. I thought the match needed 5 more minutes. That's the only thing because I thought the finish felt a little bit rushed. But what the match did was showcase everyone. It really did. Just like the promo showcased everyone involved. I really like that. But guys, if you watched Cody throughout that match and you watch his facials, you watch how he's kind of watching Jay like a hawk throughout that match. I don't know. It kind of leads to a little more intrigue. It makes it a little more possible that we see a Jay versus Cody. Again, I don't think it's happening. I don't. But it gives a little bit of credence to the fact that maybe it could. The real question is who are we going to get? All right. And again, we can review tomorrow. I'll talk a little bit more about that. But here again, it's still a little bit out in the open. I will say it's still going to be Jay and Gunther. But again, it showcased everyone. Jacob, once again, I mean, he looks better than anyone in all of wrestling. Like, if you're not seeing the stuff that this cat is doing, and guys, I know right now that I am a huge Jacob Fatu. Let's just call it what it is. I am all about him. And a matter of fact, if he was the only wrestler on television right now, I'd still watch. Probably the same amount of time as I do now, which is a lot. but I thought, my God, he looks good. And I thought he made Cody look very strong. He's made some of these monsters he's taken on look weak at times, i.e. Braun Strowman. No. That did not happen with Cody. Cody looked good against him. The top rope cutter looked good, but then the one count, the kick out, it gave even more mystique to what Jacob Fatu is doing. And guys, once again, Tama Tonga in ring, fantastic. He's this Tasmanian devil thing he's got going is working. The crowd is chanting it. These two they're on the process of being the next big thing. Hell, if they're not going to put singles belts on anybody, let's give them the freaking tag belts, right? Again, I have no beef with that. Overall, though, guys, I just thought the match was good, and I thought it really went along with everything that SmackDown had to offer. B plus. It was a B plus again, guys. So far, every show I've done this week, I think, has been a B plus, and that's going to make the week in review a little interesting come tomorrow. But we'll get to it. And speaking of getting to it, Collision tonight, guys. AEW Collision on TNT. And decent card. Who do we have here? Undisputed Kingdom, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and the man, Adam Cole, right? Adam Cole, baby. They're going to take on the Old Jericho Appreciation Society, where we got Daniel Garcia, Cool Hand, Angelo Parker, and my man, Daddy Magic, Matt Menard. That's going to be a good match. I assume that'll be the lead-in. Not sure how else they would go with that. We got Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher. That's going to be interesting. Mark Briscoe, always entertaining no matter what. I assume this is an opportunity for maybe some Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega run-in. I don't know. I haven't read anything about that. My personal favorite match of the night that we're going to get tonight, Bandito taking on the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, part of the Learning Tree with Chris Jericho. Guys, if you haven't watched Bandito, check him out. He's a luchador with a lot of power. If you're a Penta guy, if you're in the WWE and you're big on Penta, tune in tonight and check out Bandito. A lot of similarities right there. Bandito, not quite Penta's level, but as far as luchador stuff, it's different. It looks different. It's a good presentation, and I think you guys enjoy it. He's a powerhouse too. My girl Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is going to take on Penelope Ford, or Penelope, if you will. Thunder. I mean, this girl called you out last week. Met Thunder about a month and a half ago. My God, she's such a sweet human. And I need to see her kick Penelope Ford's ass. Nothing personal, Kip Sabian. I know she's your wife and I enjoy you in the ring, but Thunder Rosa needs to kick Penelope Ford's ass. Period. Full stop, right? Dustin Rhodes in action tonight. Mariah May is in action tonight. They haven't said who. We're going to get a face-to-face between Okada and Buddy Matthews. I did that the other day, too. I need to stop doing that. And then probably the highlight of the night is the Harley Cameron halftime concert. I mentioned yesterday, right now, everything Harley Cameron touches is gold. I'm hoping tonight we get to see the Mercedes Moné ventriloquist helping out with some of the concert. And again, you'll get to see how good Harley Cameron is. She is absolutely phenomenal. Not the best in-ring wrestler, but hell, she just started with it. So, she'll get there. Anyway, also tonight, guys, if you're local here in the CSRA, don't forget Viral Pro Wrestling. They have their big event at the Warren Community Center off of Warren Road, which is just off of Washington Road, up from Applebee's, if you know what I'm talking about. But great show, great card, big card tonight. Main event, we got Drew Hood, who's the VPW Heavyweight Champion, taking on AEW's Preston Vance, 11. And I think we're going to get a good night. John Skyler is going to be my man, the good hand John Skyler, which I actually want to talk to him tonight about his interaction with Mustafa Ali on TNA Thursday. So John Skyler, Slim J will be in action. Billy Brash in action. Gustavo from the AML coming down to wrestle as well. Can't wait to see that. We got some NWA tag team action tonight as the Kazanas are going to be in town. Erica Demia defending her VPW Women's Championship match. Going to be a great night of VPW wrestling. Come out and see me, guys. Come out and hang out with the Slow Burn. I'm not going to do a lot out there tonight, guys, because I want to enjoy the wrestling and hang out with my kid. I will do a couple lives, and if you see me doing a live, come check me out. Come talk to me. I have some bracelets to give away. If you come up to me, you see me, you say, hey, I'm loving the Slow Burn. I got a bracelet for you, and I'm going to give that out, all right? So come check me out at Viral Pro Wrestling, but more than that, check out Viral Pro Wrestling, right? Collision tonight. I'll watch it probably around 11 o'clock. And then tomorrow is the Sunday Week in Review. And I can't wait. It's been such a good week. Tomorrow's going to be fun, right? Because all wrestling is fun. So, guys, again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the help you're doing, the sharing, the liking, the following. Do more of that for me, guys. Help me out. Give me some more followers. It's funny that this could take off, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a blast. This has been the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. I am Matt Brandon, and folks, remember, we're wrestling everything in this life. Stay on top.